something different than your upbringing, you do not answer. You let work speak for itself. And I'm glad that the youth is here today because, hello, where have you seen a prostitute clean up so well? Have you? I don't know. I don't think so. And so my answer today is that I've got 4 bars on my shoulders. And I don't know about you, but if you go on the Titanic now and you see Captain Phillips, you can now call out there's a Sis Londi from Claremont. She comes with African cuteness. She doesn't take your job. She's just as qualified. I go up on the MSC and book with my girls and I can call. Ukhona uNgcobo namhlanje? Ukhona uNgcobo namhlanje? Is there a Ngcobo on board today, Captain? And they're like, oh, are you referring to Captain Lundy? And that's the essence of a dream. The essence of a dream is making it visible. And the youth today call me the Black Mermaid. And so the youth today, when you tell them a black man can't swim and you go to a comedy show, someone says that they're going to tell you it's not funny. Because it's limited options for them. They wouldn't have known had I not role modeled the industry. If you can be a makeup artist, if you want to be a makeup artist, if you want to be an electrician, if you want to be a mechanical engineer, if you want to be a diver, if you want to be a fitter, you don't have to be a captain with math and science, because I have gone and seen anything and everything ties up to oceans economy. And that's what I'm here to share with you ladies today. I'm here to tell you that now that I've been within the industry, now that I've been able to zoom in, I'm not even going to dwell on the abuse on board the ship, because that's not what we're there for. We've gotten the stripes for that. I've walked the walk. I've been able to bear everything that you can imagine of any kind of abuse. But I don't stand that because I'm not letting it reduce me. My point, having been the first, is ensuring that I'm not the last. And with this, I will not sit with the youth and say they did this and they did that and they did that. I was the only black, I was the only female. It's a fact. Much like any industry that has most men, that is male, predominantly male, women go through these things. We do not sit in pain anymore, because otherwise we can't claim our captaincy. And that's why I've claimed my captaincy. It comes direct with 4 bars on my shoulders. But I want all of us to be able to claim captaincy. So I won't tell the youth that, gang, I figure, hey, good. Hey, no. What do you want to become tomorrow? How can you tie it up with oceans economy? That's what I stand for. The reason why I share this is because the land is full. There's no opportunities. There's less opportunities. You can decide to be whatever you want to be. If you don't open your eyes up to oceans economy, you will miss a whole economy. A whole economy. For the women that are in business, if you still think that you can continuously knock on doors with everybody else and you don't open your eyes up to the doors that lie within oceans economy, you haven't expanded for your business. And I want to pose a challenge to all of you. I don't want to talk much about my story. I became Africa's first female dredge master. I now lead the first consulting firm for shipping companies. I have founded Global Maritime Youth. I've walked the walk, but that's not why I'm here today. You can read about me. You'll see in the newspapers. What I am here to help you, help me multiply. How do I remain the first but not the last? How do I make sure, and listen to this, there's only 2% of female participation in oceans economy globally. It's disgusting. 2% of female participation globally. So imagine if I came here and sobbed and said they did this and they did that, and I'm still struggling with this. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to multiply. So I want to find out from the youth, maybe two, what do you want to become? I'll tell you how it ties up to Ocean's economy. I want to take two women that are in business. What are you up to? I want to tie it up with Ocean's economy because I know time before Carol. Young lady. Ngiza kuwena nje ngempela. Ungibonile ngesikhathi kuthiwa sound ngathi hi. Nawe ke stand up and tell us what you wish to become.
A flight.
Igama uyasukuma bahlonishwa abantu uyabo girl. Buku usumuhle kanjani ugqoke ne-uniform. Fanele sikubone. Tell us your name, your surname. What are you aspiring to do and which grade are you on?
Okay, Tobile Ndelu. I'm doing grade 11 at Esizibeni High School. I want to become a flight attendant.
Okay. Flight attendant. Thank you. I'm glad that there's someone in aviation that's going to be talking. But when you look at flight attendants, those are the people, flight attendants. On the ships, they are called stewards. You're looking at the air. In hospitality, you would have looked at hotels. In the oceans, they're called stewards and stewardess. They come on board the ship. Those are the people that, if you've been to the cruise, those are the people that would give you great service of hospitality. They would make sure that your cabin bed is made. They would make sure that your on commercial ships. I work on Maersk shipping lines. You know, the big container ships that come in the harbor. Those are the ships that got my grooming from. Those are the ships. So everything, your Shein, your Red Bottoms, your Louis Vuittons, your everything, those are my crew in container form. So on board the ships, the stewards would make our cabins comfortable. They would make sure that the ship is clean. They would make sure that we've got enough stores to last us. The ships run 365 days a year. They don't stop. We just change crew and then we change every now and again when we get to the harbors. So your person, she's the one who raised her own hand. I didn't pick her. So good for you. We see you.
Sanbonani. Hello, everyone. I'm Ziyanda Nala from Esizibeni High School and I'm doing matric. What I'd like to know is more about opportunities in maritime. Are there more opportunities or it's limited?
The question is, what do you want to become? Because opportunities are vast. What do you like? Or what do you hope to study?
I hope to study. It has more to do with agriculture.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Guys, I don't know if you get what I'm trying to do. Everything ties up with oceans economy. If you speak agriculture, there's aquaculture. Everything ties up. And I hope that the youth then stop limiting themselves to the land. We are full. In any case, there's even traffic here. When I was in the ocean, I never even used to have traffic. On land, there's a problem. I have a problem, Carol. I have a problem. On land, when I was on board the ship, I wake up, I'm at work. I knock off, I'm at work. There's Aldo, he makes me 5-star cuisine. You know, now on land, someone is asking me what's for dinner. I'm just like, what? What's for dinner? Like, who are you? Go find out from the chef. You know, people are on screens on land. I had endless horizons as my view. Endless horizons as my view. I want the youth to feel what I felt. So enough about she became the first. I want to hear more of she's not the only. So agriculture, aquaculture and fisheries. Aquaculture, when people groom chicken and eggs, we groom prawns and sardines and salmon in the backyard. This means that the dam that we were, what's the name of the dam? I keep forgetting. Um, where we were passing now. We feed, I wish I had my presentation because you would have seen this. We feed the water from the dam to the tanks, large tanks. So where they would have aquaculture sites that have tanks, and they groom prawns and they groom fish, fresh fish to sell. It's big in the Western Cape. So agriculture, once it starts getting saturated, think oceans economy and be unique. That's where it is. So when you want to explore that, try to look at it. I just want to speak to a lady in business. Okay, please.
Sanbonan, good morning. My name is Mato Madlala. I'm from a different field. But I think the challenge I am hearing coming through is what we went through. I'm 63 years now. When I was your age, I had no clue what was out there. Absolutely no clue. Even the subjects that I did at school were not my choice, were chosen for me. I was told if you do maths, if you do science, if you do accounting, at least you'll have a bigger scope, you'll have a bigger option to choose. Now, you are talking something that's very foreign, especially to us as Africans. You know, your industry hasn't been spoken about where we come from. We have got no clue of what is out there, of what is available there. So when the young girls who are here are saying, what's out there? It's how I felt, I don't know how many years ago when I'm 63 now, to say what is out there. My father, just for himself, wanted me to be a doctor. My mother wanted me to follow my heart. And at that age, 17, 18, where would my heart take me to? But the kitchen or wherever, just here, you know. I was offered a scholarship to go and study overseas, but my never. You don't even know your second name. How do you leave home, let alone leaving South Africa to go and study anywhere else? So, what I want to say to you, open it up. I'm also keen. I know there's a commercial ventures when it comes to that. I know it's limited. I know, but there are huge barriers. So I'm saying while you say there are opportunities out there, we wish we could get to those opportunities. But for the young girls who are here, open it up because they will only think about what they've seen. Flight attendants, to be a pilot, to be a doctor, to be that, but not as far as the barriers that maritime that we have broken. I'm keen sitting here. So can you give them more time, please? Yeah. If you can open it up and tell them what can they do after matric.
Thank you. Thanks for that. You see, that's why I didn't want to share about my story today, because I think that it opens to rather a dialogue. But because it's so vast, I can streamline to one. Like she says, she wants to do agriculture. That's aquaculture. That's a different entry to industry. She wants to be a flight attendant. That's a different stream altogether. So that's why I want to ignite rather an interest for different people, because it comes with different. Like for me, I did maths and science. I had good maths and science. That's why I'm a ship captain. I went to the Durban University. I did maritime studies. I studied for 3 years. After my diploma, then I was hired by the largest shipping company, Maersk Shipping Line. Then I climbed the ranks from there. But someone comes to me now and says they're in hospitality. She's a chef. They want to be in the industry. My sister is a chef for Norwegian Cruise Lines now. She did her studies, and then I helped her merge with maritime. And that's short courses that they do. It's 6 certificates, just life saving, swimming, and all of that. Now she's able to get her license to come on board the ship. So it's quite vast. That's why I want to rather find out from, maybe should we focus on I'm doing it. I'm walking it. And that's why I'm saying it's nice for me to come in, because the one girl said, Captain, thanks for making it visible. And when I said on social media, because I make a lot of noise on social media, I've won a lot of awards, but the essence of it all is to make it visible. and accessible. So let me take one other, maybe from that uniform, one other person, and then I'll move on to business, because I think that should more women come into business, then we can nurture the kids to come join us into it. Because the unfortunate thing is that we don't have shipping lines in South Africa. And so even when someone says, no, I want to buy a car and get a red ribbon, I'm at a stage where a red ribbon will be a big ship in front of me and I'll be cutting that. You know what I mean? So I want to nurture into that, because once then I have my own shipping line, the first ever in South Africa, then hello, ladies, welcome on board. You know? So let me take another youth person, and then I'll move on to just one business lady. And yeah. Okay, I want the this uniform. Which school are you from?
Greetings, all. My name is Nolwa Zimbambo from Otoy High School. After matric, I want to be a tour guide.
You see, magic. Does it not fit? When we speak of tourism in oceans economy, we call it coastal and marine tourism. This is when people will be doing all coastal activities. This is where boating comes through. So when you go and book a boat, uhambe uyokhokhwa 150 randi, find out who's the boat owner. And that's why my company offers boat building. I want women to be able to build their boats. I'm the only accredited company in South Africa to offer boat building as a course. And to tell you the truth, it's not rocket science. Much like when I drove the ship, someone was like, no, it's going to take you years, until I realized there's actually auto on that thing. There's autopilot on that thing. You press the red button, the ship drives itself. So when you say that it's around tourism, we call it coastal and marine tourism. Number one, there's so much, and that's why they've invited me today, because I've been making noise about marine manufacturing. I've been making noise. There's something called a marine tour guide. Did you listen to the lady in the bus when we were coming here? We have marine tour guides, an accreditation that comes through for people to be able to take those people that are on board MSC cruises. You know, those people, they come down to explore the city, but there's zero accredited marine tour guides. These are then the people that will take all the cruise people, come to the land and give them tour guides, coastal tours. Coastal tours. You know, furthermore, a marine tour guide would introduce them to the species in the ocean that Durban would have that are different to other countries. They do diving, they do scuba diving, they do sharks. You see, so it's so vast. It is whale watching. It is so vast. But I've been applying on land. I've been applying. When they say bring back our land, I say the ocean belongs to us too. I don't entertain it because we've closed our eyes to it. So I want to take a lady in business. I want to try to merge it with oceans economy. Yeah, I wanted this exercise. So you can Google, you can access my company, you can access me if we don't offer such, but guidance is there. You just need to open your eyes up to it. A lady in business who can confidently say, I'm trying to do this, I want to expand. Okay, sorry.
Good day, I'm Agnes Vermaak from Geotowns Guest House, and with my team of ladies, we're going to own the next ship.
I've got competition already. In the spot, they're owning the ship. Okay, yes, please, ma'am. Last one, Carol, I promise.
Yes, from Hlume Skills. So wanting to do the boat manufacturing, but I also want to do swimming lessons for the people in the community. We do have a swimming pool in our community. You know, we just struggling to get funds for the lessons. So sponsorship.
Okay, now excited me is this because truth be told, I didn't have a swimming pool in my house. I was scared to do oceans. It was because I'm a Pisces that I decided I'm gonna do the Indus because I belong in the ocean. And then they called me the Black Mermaid, so I really belong in the ocean now, and I can swim now also. So cultivating pure love for the ocean, I have found is a problem. That is why when we do an awareness and you mention ocean, an instant fear to say, I won't leave my house. Never mind never mind being away, the ocean in itself. So it is very key that your program, you don't put it within just cultivating swimming lessons. You put it in alignment with ocean's economy. The demand is there. If you go to every single governmental department, they will tell you they've got something for ocean's economy, but they don't know how to exploit further. So align it with ocean's economy. Make that part of swimming, make it a thing, enabling cultivating pure love for the ocean. I'm giving you your intro. I'm giving you an intro to your proposal, but align it like that. Then it's more attractive than everybody else who just says, I'm gonna teach kids to swim. Carol, I really want to continue, but I know that I still want to be your friend. Ladies, thanks for having me. And in closing, I chose not to be from the Titanic. I chose to captain the Titanic.
Thank you so much, Captain Londi. Yeah, wonderful, wonderful. You can hear the passion in everything that she says. And we do have a very tight program. As I mentioned, there's so many activities of you ladies enjoy as part of your pampering. So we are going to move quite swiftly over the program to allow you to enjoy this beautiful venue as well. So as a slight breakaway, Cindy Swazulu, where are you? Cindy Swazulu is going to recite a beautiful poem for us. As you know, poetry is a love language that I absolutely am obsessed with. And I find it so soothing, so eye-opening, and just allows you to be at one with words. Cindy Swa. Go ahead, babe. I will stand up.
Sanibona. Igama lami nguSindiswa ngwakaZulu. Kunedolobha elihlukile kwamanye. Uma ngilibhekisisa ungathi likwelika Mthaniya. Licebile uma ngilibuka ngokomnotho, elika banana uma ngilisho ngesivuno. Kunedolobha eliphole ngokuheleza komoya. Akushiwongo yini ukuthi lihamba phambili ko-UNESCO kwezababhali? Awuzwanga yini ngezinhle izinkundla zemidlalo komabhida? Ukuhloba kwemigwaqo okubuka uma ugibele orisho uthini ngako? Imicimbi esezingeni njengamahashi kaJulayi usufike qathatha kulo itheku. Uthini ngezindawo zokungcebeleka? Usuke walibona ihle ngidansa koShaka Marine. Imfudumalo yetheku ithi sondela. Ulwandle nomoya oheleza kamnandi komgababa. Izigcina mlando komuhle museum. Kawukaboni lutho kwezokuvakasha emalokishini adle ngomlando. Awukezwa yini ngobuhle bedamu laseNanda? Sikhona futhi ngezimo zokufihla ikhanda. eThekwini iyona ndawo yemfudumalo ongafisa ukuba kuyo. Ngiyabonga. I recite in isiZulu. Sorry to those who won't understand, but I'll briefly explain. The first poem I was doing is about Durban. I'm sure you recognized some of the places I shared about. And then the second poem is Intokazi Ethile. Eminyakeni engaphezudlwana kweyinkulungwane eyedlule kwabe kunentokazi ethile ndawana thile. Yabi nephimbo elihle ligqiba ubuhle, yayicula kahle kunezinyoni iligqiba iculo lezinyosi. Akekho umama owayethuma ebelethile angafisi umntanakhe akhungwe ngephimbo lalentokazi. Isintu yayihuba i-Afrika, yabi nesigqi Tanzania, waphuthelwa wena sizukulwana sikamabona-kude. Yabi nezwi elalibiza imthala esibhakabhakeni, izwi elalimilisa ukudla emasimini, linisa imvula uma kunesomiso, linqamule mhlahlushwa zikhukhula. Yayicula ibheke indonsakusa, amakhehla abuka isibhakabhaka kuze kube sengathi azodlala umlabalaba. Susa lapha inkanyezi beke lapha unyezi, lokhu kusho lokhu kuqonde lokhu. Eminyakeni eminingi eyedlule kunentokazi eyayihlabelela ingoma kungathi igcinile, ilokhu ithi thengisisa isikhathi asinamnikazi phansi komthunzi welanga. Yayihlabelela esishozini siphenduka indawo yokudlalela abantwana, yayifika kulanjiwe. Ihlabelela ithemba emhlabathini oqalekisiwe. Ayazanga iphimbo layo lokukhala noma yayingenazathu sokuhlabelela, yayingadingi ezathu. Yayikhuza umaye, ixosha imhlola yamanguni, ivimba imkhokha. Ngemva kweyinkulungwane iminyaka ukukhumbuleka kwayo kwase kukhohlakele, nomlando wayo usucishile. Iyangikhala kanye nekwakumele bawugcine. Umlando ushaya impinda nokwehluke kwaba nenye futhi intokazi eyaba izingabaza. Yayifisa ukwenza umehluko oyozwakala njengehaba lezinganekwane. Yayifisa ukugibela entabeni ihaye izinkondlo ezidiliza izimpendulo ngeqiniso lokuphila kunentokazi. Esikhathele njalo ukuzwa ngezingane ezidlwengulwayo kunentokazi. Esikhathele njalo ukuzwa ngamantombazane alahlekayo kunentokazi. Esikhathele njalo ukuzwa ngogogo abahlukunyezwayo lentokazi. Ayazanga noma iphimbo layo lingezwakala yini. Njalo uma ithi iyakhuluma izwe lithi thula, kodwa yona ithi angisoze. Ngiyabonga. This poem is a poem, it's a sonnet. A sonnet is a poem with 14 lines, and it's titled Mina Nogogo, Me and My Grandmother. It embraces how our grandmothers used to tell us stories around the fire. Ngusindiswa ngwakaZulu ngwaseLamontville. Gogo wami ke wayehlabelela, ngikwazi ukuhlabelela, but I'll imitate her. Wayethi ugogo, ilitshe likaNtunjambili, litshe likaNtunjambili, alivulwa ngabantu, livulwa izinkonjane, zona ezindiza phezulu, ngivulele ngingene. Ilitshe likaNtunjambili, ilitshe likaNtunjambili, alivulwa ngabantu, livulwa izinkonjane, zona ezindiza phezulu, ngivulele ngingene. Ngingubumtoti behubo lezinganekwane, ngingumntwana we-Afrika kulesizukulwane. Ukwasukasukela yisikole sami sokuqala, iphimbo likagogo eyihuba kungagcina. Ngingumphumela wezimfundiso zabamnyama, ngizungeza iziko ngomnyama. Simpheka ngogozwane, ayihube ayihaye owami ugogo, ungayeki bungafikile ubuthongo. Gogo, gogo ngiphelezele, uhleko olungenakubhuqa. Ngangiphelele eziko ngingenasono, ngangingubumtoti behubo lezinganekwane, ngabe ngingumntwana we-Afrika kulesizukulwane. Ngiyabonga.
Wow, let's give this round of applause. My goodness. I was like, wait, is it Sunday? Is it Shaka Ilembe? No, it's not. That was so beautiful. To recite poetry so fluently in such a beautiful language is something very special. And to say it from the heart like you do And the singing. Oh, girl. Very, very special. Very, very special. Listen, for the Wi-Fi, people who are looking for the Wi-Fi code, let me give you the code right quick. Coastal Beach is what you're looking for, right? When you find it, it's a number. So try and remember this, 176230. 176230 is your Wi-Fi code. I'll give you another code in case that one doesn't come through. I have 6, but I'm only going to give you 2 for now. And if I hear any complaints, I'll give you the others. Né? I'll repeat the first one, 176230. And if that doesn't work, try 182734. Yeah? And let me know. If it doesn't work, just look angry, and then I know it's not working. It's not working. Ladies, I hope you're having a good time. Are you having a good time? We're just getting started. We're just getting started. This is a woman in a sport that's really, really, really male dominated. And when she started in the sport, even more so than today, we just wrapped the Women's World, which was a phenomena for how our ladies performed as Banyana Banyana, right? Yes, you can give the ladies a round of applause. Don't be stingy, guys. Oh. They did the most, the girls, they did the most. And this lady, her story is so powerful. Mamanto Madlala is a business-orientated woman. She's the owner and chairperson of Lamontville Golden Arrows FC, a South African PSL soccer club based right here in Durban. She revived the club back in 1996 and registered it in 2001 together with her late brother, Rocky. Nomcebo Madlala is Mam Nonto's niece, and she is the club's manager. Now, Mam Nonto was appointed as the acting CEO of the South African PSL on the 11th of November back in 2015 after the departure of the then CEO, and has been in that position since. Well, she's also director of 9 companies. Soccer is often associated with men, but in this space, this woman is at the helm of a wonderful soccer team that's from right here on our grounds. Since she broke industry back in 1990s with Lamontville Golden Arrows, she has nurtured so many soccer talents and been behind the success of so many. Being a high-ranking official at the PSL is also a great and amazing achievement for not only women in the business, but for herself. Mamanto Madlala is indeed a role model for every South African, not only her admirable qualities, including having a strong work ethic, having helped build a strong legacy in South African football in South Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, Mbokodo, Mamanto Madlala.
Or do I need a mic? Okay, I'll use this. Sanibonani. Yaze yayinhle indawo engikuyona. Ngihlala la kodwa bengazi khona indawo enhle kanje. I've already introduced when we were talking about maritime industry, because I get fascinated by everything that breathes and lives to say what are the opportunities, not for myself, but for others as well, because I get called to be involved or to speak in different places as well. So the more I know, I improve myself, and the better as well I can share knowledge, share experiences with whoever is in the audience. I'm part of KZN Tourism. I've just been appointed to that board. I hope I can add value to the board as well to say, what are we doing about it as well? How are we, empowering and also assisting as well? They talk incubator. We also need to digest the incubator and say, when is one in and when is one out, so that these opportunities are there for everyone. La ebholeni bantu abamkhulume nani, kunama opportunities amaningi. Ngifika ebholeni kwakuthiwa how I was not trained ebholeni. Angitrainwe as an accountant umsebenzi wami. But I ended up being ebholeni because I was bored as an accountant. I was only talking to figures and not talking to anybody, and that certainly wasn't me. This is what I was saying earlier on, to say, we never know what's out there. We never know what we want to do. You only realize when you are in it that this is not for me. But education first. Whatever that you opt to do, you must have a fallback position, a certificate. You can't go and explore without having a fallback position. Once you go to school, you go to universities, you go to Technikon, it opens up the way you think as well. And you start seeing opportunities where it would have been difficult for you to see those opportunities as well. And uqala ube nesibindi, you know, ube sure of yourself to go and knock and say what's available here, what's not available here. It's never easy. I will not lie to you and say it is easy to make it in life. Before 1994, maybe we were a bit fortunate because it was 1994, so we were able at times, though difficult as it was, to get scholarships. Now you must compete on equal footing. Now wonke umuntu okhona, you must compete. But as no 63, so ingane ingane nabazukulu abangangami. Isikole is everything, bantawethu. Noma ngabe ungathi wenzani, isikole is everything. Konke lokho okunye ngangifunda e-girls school. Ngathi mangifika evarsity ngangiqala ukubona abafana eduzane kwami. Kwangazi ukuthi ngise candy shop. But ke isiloko isikole nabo bazokuhlonipha uma uyile esikoleni nawe ukwazi ukuthi ubeke imali etafuleni bazokuhlonipha. Bazokukhohlisa nje noma ungaphethe lutho kodwa uma uphethe bazokuhlonipha. Kuthi noma ngabe ingalungi leyo relationship muthi that is key. Kuyo yonke nje into eniyenzayo singakhohlisani. Ngisho ukuthi umuhle kanjani baye bathi ilanguage yamanje niya expire. Angazi noma nokudla yini expire kuthiwa nifika ku expiry date, but kube njalo. Lana ebholeni opportunities akhona nakhona. You know, we've got administrators, we've got coaches, we've got trainers, even sports science. You know, you can do sports science, you can be involved with sports, all codes of sports, not limited just to soccer. Wonke akhona with sports science, ungaba physio, you know, after matric you go, you have studisha ube physiotherapist, kunama biokinetist, kuningi, it's out there. So if uya kuma technical universities and you go to that section, sport, and you find out what is there is a lot that you can do. And from there, you grow. You know, you start by getting experience, working for somebody to understand the industry that you are in. Then you can venture out and open your own businesses. Don't want to do it before you have proper knowledge, before knowledgeable, and you want to be your own boss. Before you become your own boss, you must know your story. You must know the field that you want to pursue, the field that you want to follow, and then only will you be able to be your own boss. You can't be a boss that is clueless. You are in a hurry. You want to graduate today. You want to have a car, a house like this, like tomorrow, a big house. You get married. You live happily ever after. Only good, bold, and beautiful, and in the movies. Otherwise, you don't get that in real life. You know, I'm showing my age. You're bold and beautiful. Who's associating with me? Yeah, and days of our lives. Doesn't work like that. You have to work hard. So, uma kuthiwa ngikhulume and also tourism opportunities. You know, sports tourism. Ngenze example ngithi I never knew Barcelona, for example, until club Barcelona. Ngase ngazi ukuthi there is a place called Barcelona. If you go there, wonke umuntu lapha just to go to the stadium, just to see where this soccer team comes from. So nala, we can also do the same as well and attract South Africa, but weather yethu works fine for our countries angaphandle. So that when it is off season and they want to come here, it's kubona, it's cheap to come to South Africa. It's cheap to have a camp in South Africa. It's up to us now to make those approaches to them to say, is Durban, and this is what we have. This is what we have to offer. We once brought England national team here. They didn't stop talking about us, but there was no follow-up. So I'm saying to our host, people who have brought us here, we really need to sit down and work on making Durban to be the #1 choice because there's so many clubs. Manje, if you look at what they do, they go to Saudi Arabia, they go to China, they go to different places. They can come here as well. The weather would work fine for us. We've got the facilities, get together and bring them here. Mina-ke bantu bami ngithi kunina abantu banganitsheli ukuthi ngeniyenza into. Ungavumi ethi umuntu ngeke uyenze into. Ayikho into ongeke uzuze uyenze ofuna ukwazi ukuthi ufuna ukuthi ukuyenze. La ngisebenza khona wonke lama club, o-Chiefs, o-Pirates, obani bani bezwa ngami. Akumina engizwa ngabo. Bezwa ngami ukuthi ngithini. So ke ku-possible. Ngiyabonga.
Yabonga, thank you so much, Mom. Wow, I love what Umama said about young people and Niachacha, even in my industry. And I wish I was as proficient in isiZulu. Nakibuwa Setswana, so I find when I go to the shops and someone wants to talk to me in isiZulu, I'll answer, "Sawubona ngenjani, khona na na na." And then we get into the real conversation. Ay, then I look like that. And then I realized when I first moved here, I knew in English, I've lost the respect, right? So I then switched. "Ah, abuti nna ke bua Setswana, ke tswa Mafikeng, ke ra ke tlhaloganye gore o reng." Look at me. Oh, Mopedi. Like, pretty much. So it's always so beautiful to learn, live and learn. And one of the big takes out I'm taking from this conversation is around young people not rushing. You graduate, you're like, I deserve that CEO chair right now. And I deserve a Range Rover right now. I look and I think to myself, here I am 20 years in radio and only been on daytime radio for 5 years. 20 years, I've done every radio show you can think of. So you can't tell me how to do those shows. I've done them, it's 20 years. But you find young people coming out and literally just out of radio academy and they want the biggest, hottest show with no experience. So take your time and learn. This time gives you is the opportunity to master something. That is what time does. It gives you the opportunity to master something. Because when you rush into, there are masters before you that will school you in your chair. And it's very humiliating and you lose respect. So this lady is very young. She's very beautiful and she's exceptionally talented. I first met her when on social media, hearing lots of people talking about her works. She also did a feature on a friendly radio station, I'll say Gagasi to East Coast friends. And she has the most exquisite skin. And it's lovely when someone is in a business that they are in, it represents what they do, right? It's like when you go and buy makeup and the lady's like, this eyeliner at that time, Ichubaba is like there. That one lash is like this. And you're like, are you sure? Are you sure, ma'am? You look at her and you look at her skin and you go, wow, I understand why you are the infamous Dr. Lulu. She practices across KZN, across Johannesburg. She is such a businesswoman, so much to learn from her. She's humble, she's award-winning, she's an entrepreneur. Dr. Lumhlongo is a visionary, aesthetics check, skincare check, renowned doctor. Numa Cosmetics are at the center of everything she does. Her story of how she even fell into becoming a dermatologist and falling in love with making people's skin glow is beautiful. To think, and I'll tell you, she told me this on air once, she said, I had really bad skin growing up as a young person, and I decided I'm going to do something about it, not just for me, but for every person. And this, my friends, is Dr. Lou.
It's amazing to hear someone say such nice things about you. Good afternoon, beautiful ladies. Good afternoon to our distinguished guests. I call the young people our distinguished guests for this reason. In Africa, we have the highest percentage of youth. And stats have shown that we have the highest percentage of youth, meaning that we still have if we're investing in our youth properly. So I'm very grateful to attending events that still have young minds, which we can still empower and we can still grow. I'm going to go on to my talk. As a young person that grew up not having much, if I come, there's something that my father said to me, that if I give you a fish, I'm not doing you any justice. I need to teach you how to fish so you can survive even when I'm not there. It's all beautiful when businesses have made it and we want to give back to the community. But one of the best ways to give back is having summits like this, where young people can be empowered and we can empower their minds and teach them how to fish. With all of that being said, I would like to introduce myself. Igama lami nguDokotela uLungile Mhlongo. Can I please have that mic? I'm not too much of a public person. Thank you so much. Igama lami nguDokotela uLungile Mhlongo. I'm from Durban. I'm from the worst of Durban in an area, underdeveloped area called Kwangolosi, which also attraction for Durban because we have Umsinzi and the beautiful dam in Nanda Dam. So I grew up in that. I was born in that area, and being born there. Before I get to being born there, I want to say thank you to the organizers for seeing me fit to be part of this beautiful event. I really hate it. So being born in Ngolosi, being the 10th child of 9 girls and 1 boy, you can imagine what I went through. From a family that didn't have much, but I was fortunate enough to have parents that made it. We couldn't feel as children that we didn't have much. Only now when I look back, I'm like, my parents were really trying to, like having 10 children and not having much and making it work. I really applaud them for that. So I was the last born, so we don't have much anyways. So, and then it starts from the firstborn. Everything goes down. By the time it gets to me, it's like crumbs. I'm just feeding on crumbs. But luckily for me, I was my dad's favorite. I can argue that with my siblings. But I can still stand on the fact that I'm my dad's favorite because he named me Favorite. My second name is Favorite. That's why I am Dr. L.F. Mhlongo. So I was my dad's favorite. Being my dad's favorite, he was my favorite as well. I looked up to that man. I loved that man so much. He was, for me, he was my everything. Everything I did it for my dad. I'd come back, get something from school, I'd come back to see. Fast forward, I grow up, this man raises me, and I think he was, because he wanted to have more boys, he would try and create a boy in one of us. So I was that one. So, and then I grew up, fast forward to grade 11. All my life plans were centered around my dad. Grade 11, my dad has a situation where he had an attack. And he would have an attack, and then when he has this attack, he'd have doctors that are going to help him. We only had 2 in the country that could help him to reverse whatever that he had. And then one time he had this incident, doctor was there, fixed back to normal, he was okay. A month later, hardly a month, 2 weeks later, my dad has this incident again. It's January now. If you know, exactly, 100%. So the 2 doctors are on holiday. I watched my favorite suffer. I'd never seen my father cry. Even when someone passes in the family, my dad used to be the strongest one that holds us down, like Agaseko, and everything else. But when he was going through this pain, I could see my favorite crumbling because of pain. I could see, it was my first time seeing him shed a tear. And then I felt like my world was crumbling. I was angry. I'm like, how could this doctor go on holiday and leave my father to suffer like this? And unfortunately, that pain led to his demise. And then I lost my favorite. Lost my favorite in that anger of, why would this doctor do this? Why did you choose to become a doctor if you're going to choose to go on holiday and not save our parents? Until I got to a point where it's enough with being a victim of the situation. What do you want to do about it? And then I decided to be the change that I want to be. I want to see. Then I decided to go into medicine. Before that, Shem Snobaba, we used to think, oh, you're good at this, maybe do this, you're good at this, maybe do this. But that was the defining moment of saying, this is what I'm going to do. And that's how I went into medicine. When I got into medicine, I went through medical school. Like Carol said, you do your time, you have to do. There's a lot of things that you learn along the way. They are not all going to be nice. I will tell you, as far as I am now, I've had more lows than highs. But the lower my lows, it determines the speed I go up, because I've gotten to a point where I say, I'm not a victim of life. Whatever that I go through, I need to know what this thing is here to teach me. Fast forward, I'm now in medical school. I'm graduated from medical school, and then I went and did my internship. Whilst I'm doing my second year of internship with medicine. Back then, I'm old. So back then we did 5 years of undergrad, and then we had 2 years of, yes, I'm very old, sis. My big sister is arguing it. So we do 2 years of internship, and then we do 1 year of community service. But I'm going to take you through what we do in medicine. But I really think I should go through my story, because you young people, when you see us there and you see us on the socials and you think we had it easy. She slept and she decided to be a doctor. She went into medical school, and then she started, and then she completed a medicine. So once I was before, okay, the dream was born. I want to be a doctor. But I just lost a father. Who's going to pay for my fees? But it started with me having a meeting with myself and deciding what I want to see and where I see myself, and work my way to where I'm trying to go. And then I had to sit down and ask myself, what does it require for me to become a medical doctor? I was okay. I was averagely smart, but not enough to get into medical school. Because it's another thing deciding, I want to get into medical school, I want to go do this and do this. But your grades at the end of the day, it's the determining factor of whether you get in there or you end up doing something that you do not like. So I went back, what does it require? Okay, it requires me to work hard in grade 11, so that my grade 11 results are going to get me into getting into the entrance test. From the entrance test, my final result in matric is what's going to get me into medical school. Like, okay, sure, that's fine. I'm just going to dedicate myself and I work hard. I unfortunately had to go through, and I was here, home was here. We moved from Mangoloso to Mobani Heights. I used to go to Chatsworth. But I decided that time, if I need to achieve this, first, because I've had my friends for so long and we've had these bad habits, I had to separate myself together with my mom now, because she's alone now and she's left with all these children. And then she sent me to a remote area called Kandla to go do my matric there. And that's when I had no friends. I didn't know anyone, no cell phone, nothing. We would feed on starch. I gained like 10 kgs in 1 year. But because I was focused on my goal and where I wanted to go, and this is what I need, and it is born from a parent. I'm like, I'm not going to fail another child that has a parent that's dependent on me finishing this and getting to the end. And I worked hard at that time. Now I'm no longer working hard to get the grades. The grades, I was fine. I knew I was going to get the grades to get in. But how am I going to pay for the fees? Now I'm working even harder so that I can be able to, when I'm sitting at home in December, my results can go into those boardrooms to get me the funding that I need. So what am I saying to you? You need to work hard to get in with your grades, but also if you know your family, you don't choose where you are born. We don't choose to be born in poverty, but where you end up is entirely up to you. So you can't blame your parents and say, my parents didn't have money. You can't say my parents didn't have money to take me to varsity. There's a lot of doors you can knock on here, but once you've knocked on the door, what do you have to present? So that's where you come in, and you need to come back and learn. Fast forward to my story. Now I'm working. I got my results spoke for me. I got the bursary, and then I got to medical school, and then I got through medical school. forward. Now I'm working. I have a salary. I'm a medical doctor. I got through a certain incident in my life, and then I started breaking out. Like Carol briefly mentioned it. I started breaking out, had severe acne on my face, chest, and back. And if anyone knows me here, I'm a loving person. I'm a lover. I'm a hugger. I just want to be around people. I love being around people. I feed off people's energies. So this incident comes, I have acne, I can't go out anymore. Initially, I used to go out, but when I'm out, I feel like people are looking at my skin and they're making skin contacts before they can hear what I'm going to say. It would go to an extent where people would actually say to me, what's going on? I'm sorry, I don't know how to say this word in English, and it has this impact. And I take those words back home. It would break my heart. Like, okay, the best solution to this is not to go out anymore. Just come back from work, lock yourself up. And that led me to clinical depression. Because I'm not seeing people anymore. And then I went into clinical depression, started antidepressants. If you've been on antidepressants, yes, they are good, they're a solution. But in medicine, we always say we have to treat the cause, not the symptom. So I got to a point where if you've been on antidepressants, you know antidepressants, they don't treat the cause. They can actually make you feel more depressed because now you're feeling tired, but you know the problem is there. I still go to the mirror and I see my acne. I still go to the mirror. I still can't go out, but I'm on antidepressants. Then that's when, again, it came back. Let me sit down and try to find a solution to this problem and then send it to everyone. Because I started thinking about there's so many people out there that are going through what I'm going through, and some of them, they end at the point of depression. So with that, I gave birth to what is called Numa Medical Aesthetics, which has helped 1,000 of people that have problems now, skin problems now. And that has helped me to find my passion. And should I have not gone through these mishaps, I would have never found my passion. So what am I trying to say to you, young person, or even any woman that is sitting here? Do not end at the point of the problem. Do not, you have two choices if you're faced with the problem. Either to become a victim and it ends here, or you learn something and you saved 1,000 other people. So you need to make that decision. Whatever the trials and tribulations are there, you will face problems as you go. But what are you going to learn from it, and how is it going to propel you further is the decision that you need to make. So me, it has helped me to find my passion where I wake up in the morning and I'm excited to do what I do. I'm excited lives. You'd ask yourself, how are you saving lives if you're in a cosmetic industry? Because I understand the impact it has on your psychology. Let's face it. If you have that face beats done right and your eyebrows are right and everything is proper, your confidence higher, and you're able to walk into rooms with that extra confidence. So whatever that you're gonna say, you are going to send the message across better because you feel good about yourself. If you're wearing that beautiful dress that you love and it fits right and it's showing the right places and hiding the right places, you present yourself properly. You stand with confidence. So how about things that affect your skin and how you look, which is something that you don't take off? So that's why I'm so passionate about my job, because I know when someone walks into my consulting room, I can tap into your psyche, because someone who just, sometimes you get someone that just sits there, they have acne and they just cry. I don't say they're being petty. Understand, I have been there myself. So why am I telling you my story? You may be sitting here not knowing what you want to do. You may be sitting here and like you're in grade 11 and I'm not sure, what am I going to do in 2 years' time? These are the most crucial years. This is what will determine where you go from here. So that's where you need to go back today. It will be amazing for us to sit like this next year and be testifying and saying, I left on the 30th of August, just before we ended Women's Month, and I had a meeting with myself, an honest meeting with myself, and I asked myself, who are you? What sets you apart? Where do you want in your life? So the best way to ask yourself where you want to go is to go to 10 years time. Don't write a plan year this year, 2023. Write a 10-year plan. within 10 years, I see myself with this car, I see myself living in this house, so many lives, I see myself having made an impact in this and this and this. And then you come back from the 10 years to the 30th of August 2023 and say, how do I then work my way to going there? How is this going to help you? It's going to help you to stay in your lane. We live in a world that is filled with, the world is on social media. We see what everyone is doing, and you want to do what Dr. Lou is doing. You want to do what Londi is doing. But if you've had this meeting with yourself, whatever you see as good as, oh, congratulations, Londi will come from a good heart. To say, congratulations, Londi, I'm happy that you slay in your lane. And I'm still on my lane. I'm inspired that you are so dedicated in what you are doing. Let me take the same type of dedication. There's this amazing mantra that we normally use to say, I'm part of this other community of ladies founders. And our mantra is, we don't compete, we collaborate. So if you've had your meeting with yourself, you're no longer going to compete with the lady sitting next to you. You're not going to be competing with the first person you see on your feed. You are going to ask yourself, okay, me in my lane, how can I collaborate with this person so that I don't move out of my lane to get to the 10 years that I'm trying to get to? It will help you even when distractions come. Because after high school comes a lot of distractions in varsity that we hardly talk about. When Omar mentioned something about being in a candy shop as well. So there's a lot out there, there's a lot along the way. But the sooner you do this meeting with yourself, the sooner you will be able to say, this friend inviting me to this club is not aligned to where I'm trying to go. It's actually going to pull me out of the line. And I'm not going to get to where I'm trying to get to. So it's very important. So that is my challenge today. Go back, sit down, ask yourself what you want to do. And we're not all going to be doctors. We're not all going to be captains. But now, like I mentioned, that we have the highest of youth now, and the world is changing to digital, and the world is changing to tech. Maybe we see with the person that's going to innovate the next big thing that we need in tourism. So you need to allow yourself to grow wild with your thoughts and saying, with phones, I'm good with it. What can I do with myself? So please, young people, do this for me, even if it's not for yourself. Have this meeting. And I'll be very happy next year. Because this, Women's Month, I've spoken at like 5 or more than 5 events. But it's pointless to have these things if we can't measure the impact. So let's come back next year, sit down and testify and say, after Sis Londi spoke, after Sis Lou spoke, I went back and this is where I am now. My grades have improved. I've applied. I've been accepted in this school. I'm doing this now. That will help us even next year. We're going to build on that so that in 10 years' time, we're able to say we sat and we had a meeting, and then in 10 years, we have other doctors at doing different things. So to come back to medicine is, I went into medicine just going to be working in casualty, saving people's lives until I learned there's so much you can do. Like Olondi said, in the industry, there's so much that you can do, same as in medicine as well. Yes, we definitely need people that are going to save lives. We need people that are going to specialize in different things, but you can also work in corporate. You can be what I call myself, I'm a doctorpreneur. I went into medicine thinking, oh, yeah, and I'm going to work, until I found out, because you know what, you function better as an entrepreneur in your industry. That didn't come easy. Let me tell you the story how I found out I was an entrepreneur. I also didn't know. I was frustrated with working in the hospital because I like seeing people and I like, please time me, Carol. Please, thank you. So I was, like I said, I love people, I love connecting with people. I don't like seeing people once and then next day, tomorrow you are. I like following up on people. So when I was working in a hospital, I didn't have that, because I'd be placed in casualty, be placed in this ward and be placed in this, or I just clear the queue and I can't follow up on my clients. And that frustrated me. And most of our dreams are born from frustration. And as part of being an entrepreneur, that's what being an entrepreneur is. You find a solution and then you extend it. So I then decided the comfort of working for a government and being paid my salary every month, and I was good regardless if I see people or 2 people or I see 5 people or 20 people, I still get paid. Even if I go, because we used to have DQs within the hospital, even if I go for my lunch and never come back, I still get paid. So I left, and then I took a leap of faith. I opened a private practice. I remember it was August, and I got paycheck, and then I was so frustrated. I'm like, where's the next money going to come from? I was driven by passion. I'm like, I just want to see clients and everything else. When I was driven by passion, my clients loved me so much because I gave them discounts. I'd see them for free because I'm used to pushing the queue. That was nice. I was loved. My clientele was growing, but the pocket was depleting. And then end of the month, I didn't have money to pay my staff. I did not have money to pay for my rent. The medicine cabinet was empty. And that's when I realized, Lou, you're no longer just a doctor. You are now a doctor that is an entrepreneur, and you need to do things right. That's when I started studying things around business. Carol mentioned something about preparing yourself. I mentioned something about education, the importance of education. You're not just going to go up to the top. Even if by luck and by grace, you make it to the top, what's going to keep you there? What kind of conversations are you going to have up there? And it's like me saying today, I want to meet President Ramaphosa. What am I going to say to him? Am I just going to say, you're doing grade 11 in this school? No. You need to prepare yourself for where you're trying to get to. Yes, the dream is to meet this person, and the dream is to make it there. But do not despise the process. Go through the process, learn all the lessons you have to learn in the process, and then remember you are not an island. Everyone, find help from people around you. And we've got an issue in business where people have chief syndromes. You feel like you're the best in your industry. And then you don't even look at the person next to you and ask them, how did you do it? And me asking Ulondi, how did you do it, is going to help me to not have the same scars she has. Because she's endured it, she's going to tell me at the parts of how she overcame it. I don't have to now start from ground zero up. And Ulondi, I'm going to help her as well with what, I didn't see that Carol is up, oh my God. Okay, I'm done in 2 seconds. And then I'm going to learn from her. So as I'm about to see second, literally, young people to the old, beautiful women that are here, I think so young, you'd swear that they come to Numa. You are not just a woman. You are a human being. So let us try not to stick too much on, I'm going to get it because I'm a woman, I'm going to come young. Work triple as much as men do to get into those rooms and sit in those rooms. And then when they see your, they'll be like, no, this kind of woman did this. Let's not do things averagely and think that we're going to get extraordinary results just because you're female. Yes, we are incubators. We have we have those privileges, but let those privileges find you as you move. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Lou. Give it up for Dr. Lou. How's that Wi-Fi working for you guys? You good? It didn't work. Hi, Bo. Okay, let's try another code. 202-373. 202-373. Wi-Fi password. I'll give you another one. 206-658. 206-658. I'll repeat those two again. 202-373 and 206-658. I have two more, so if those don't work, then the last two have got to work. Né? Coastal Lounge, I would assume. But it could be Coastal Beach. Try both. Try both and let one no, I'll also play around and see which one is the one to go for. Thank you again, Dr. Lou. What a beautiful message from Dr. Lou, specifically how that took away from your mother, you know, losing your dad. And so many people would say it's the end of the road. Like, who's going to help me pay for this? Who's going to see me through? Because we look at our parents to see us through everything, right? And the fact that you were in that position and you didn't take it as defeat, but you took it as the beginning of a beautiful journey to succeed in your dreams. I think a lot of us forget that we don't have to worry about what comes to us, but more what we go and get, right? Handouts never see people very far, but giving gets people really going beyond their own capabilities. So thank you, Dr. Lou, for that insight, a really beautiful one. Our keynote speaker for today, I'm sure many of you have already started spotting her, secretly taking pictures. Is it really? Could it be? Yes, it is. She's graced our TV screens with her amazing characters that she's played. I personally saw her for the first time in the hit Showmax TV show, The Wife. This journalist, Hlomu, who I come from, my undergraduate is a journalism degree, so I fell in love with the character because it resonated so much with who I am. And then she meets this nuts guy and then leaves the doctor guy for this crazy guy. And I was just hooked onto the TV show and this character. And I'm like, if I see Hlomu in real life, we need to have a conversation about her decisions because we get so invested. And it just shows her talent that she makes you believe she's this character. She's living, breathing this character. Mbalenhle Mavimbela was born right here in KZN in Ladysmith. Now, Ladysmith is special for me because I had and tell me that he saw alien activity in Ladysmith. So Mbali needs to tell me, are there aliens flying around Ladysmith, okay? She discovered her love for performing arts at Pinetown Girls High School. She went on to Durban University of Technology to study travel and tourism management. Mbalenhle studied drama in high school and participated in many school plays, winning herself Actress of the Year award. She is an actress, she is a producer, she is a director, she is fabulous. She is Hlomu, why did you go and be with Mkhele? From The Wife. She's been on Sibaya. She's been on Durban Jen. And as I mentioned, the one I really enjoyed her in is The Wife. Ladies and the three gentlemen, please welcome to the podium, Mbalenhle.
Yeah, okay. Sanibonani. Ninjani? Ngiyaphila. Igama lami uMbalenhle wakwaMavimbela. Most of you know me as Hlomu from The Wife, but seshile ukuthi Carol ukuthi everyone is asking Hlomu why Mkhele, but I'm just a 26-year-old ambitious young lady from Ladysmith, as she's introduced me. Born and raised in Ladysmith, and then moved to Johannesburg for work. I love today's theme because it talks about growing and glowing in passion. And I'm not here to motivate, guys. I just want to share my story. So I just want to share how I've gotten to where I am today. And I love what Dr. Lou said about your background. Where you come from does not determine where you're going. And I think with my growth, or like growing up, I was raised by a woman, Kuliso Gogo, basically. And what she taught me and the things that she did to groom me or make sure that I am the woman that I am today, I think is what got me to be here. It's what got me to be able to handle Hlomu, to be able to handle the fame, the pressure, and just to be the woman that I am, you know. And getting to Hlomu is a story that that's like, I don't know if it's easy or it was hard because of the passion and the fire that I had within me. So ukufunda entertainment in our black families is normally like, it's like uzoyitholaphi imali? Like izongena nini? Because le msebenzi yenu, you understand that it's not always salary all the time. So it was very difficult for me, and I had to try very hard to convince my parents. So abantu abaningi didn't know that I studied travel and tourism management. So in high school, I actually did travel and tourism management. Ngayishintsha ngathi no, there's something that wants me to drama, to entertainment. There's something in me that wants me to act as if I'm someone else. You know, there's something in me that wanted me to feel what someone else is feeling or what someone else would feel. And that fire started in high school. That's when I found my love for acting. And there, I ditched tourism, and then I did drama. But then when I got to varsity, again, tourism followed me. And I couldn't study acting. So because of fees, I couldn't afford the fees, and I ended up doing travel and tourism management. So it followed me again. So it was basically God saying, you will find your purpose, but I won't make it easy for you. I won't say, nah, acting, sure, go do it. It was a bit tricky, and I had to go through, I guess, like mental convincing, or I don't have the right word to put it, but I had to go through a lot of convincing myself that I want to do this. Not saying that the passion had fire within me had left, but it was also just a mental thing of saying, okay, I think God now has put me with tourism because I'm supposed to be here. But then I kept pushing. So I'd bunk classes and go do auditions. I would bunk a lot to make sure that I'm in the drama department. And when I did that, I eventually got my first television debut role, which was on Isipo and ETV. And that journey on its own wasn't easy. And I wish I had time to break it down for you. That I think about, I had rent, Gatengo Pai, Ementro, pick. That was literally so, because Vela, I grew up knowing that I need to be grateful and appreciate the small things. So fast forward to now, I have the role. Now I'm living my dream. And they canned the show, meaning they canceled the show. Now I'm like, okay, Mom, I'm independent now. I've moved out of home, and now I'm in Johannesburg living my dream. And then they canceled the show, meaning now who's going to pay my rent? What's going to happen? So I had to go back home. And then for me, that was like, okay, God, again, let's have this conversation. I have a lot of conversations alone where I'm like, I need to understand what's going on. I need answers. And I think it was because he didn't want it to be easy for me to have my big break. And my big break was Uhlom, was on The Wife. So for me, it was industry. I don't know how to put it, but it wasn't meant to be easy. It wasn't meant to be your first role. That's it. Now you're gonna get more roles, and you're gonna be famous, and you're gonna have all the money. It was like a setback that wasn't really a setback. It was God just saying, calm down. Yeah. Yeah, calm down. Be in touch with yourself. Know why you want to do this. Have a purpose for it. And that's when I knew it's okay. God is saying, go back. Ask yourself why this passion and this fire within you is wanting you to do this. And then I figured that it's because he had put me on this platform so that I become his project, so that I can inspire, so that I can heal people through my work. And I never understood how it would happen, because I'm like, I'm just acting, I'm entertaining people. People should laugh, people should. But God is like, no, come back and know why you're doing this. You're not doing it for the fame. You're not doing it because you want to be on television. in South Africa, a lot of people think when you're in the entertainment industry, it's all fun and it's all, let's take pictures and I'm famous. It's not that. It's an actual career. And when I figured that, okay, God put me here for that, I started using the platform in that way. And I started understanding why I was there. So fast forward to getting Uhlomu, did all the other shows. I hustled, still went back and forth, Johannesburg and Durban, until I got Uhlomu. When that role happened, and I'm sure most of you have watched it, or if you haven't watched it, you've heard or read the books. I had already knew my purpose, or God had aligned a lot of things for me. So I knew that this is the role that's going to heal a lot of people. This is the role that's going to touch people's lives. And it did exactly that, because I would go I would go to work, I would be on set, and when it's time to perform, I don't know, it's a very spiritual journey, acting, because you always feel like, oh, I'm just acting in front of the camera, but you have to mentally prepare yourself. And those scenes where it's abuse or it's crying or it's painful stuff, I would then say, God, I want to heal people here. I want to cry and cry for the nation. Like, I want people to feel Shlomo's pain, but not feel it because I want to trigger them, but feel it because I want them to heal. And nangempela, people would send me DMs, people would send me inboxes when they see me. Some of them would cry and be like, I went through this, Mbali. I went through this GBV that Shlomo went through. I went through all of it and you healed me. But I'm like, how did I heal you? I was just acting. And they're like, you don't know what you do on that screen. And that's my God-given talent. When I think about it, I'm like, there's no way I could heal through acting by just pretending as if I'm someone else. Like, how is that possible? But then I figured that no, every role that I get or in everything that I do, it needs to align with the purpose that God has put me on the stage for. And to think that I have to go through that, at the same time, be famous. So now the fame is a different world from you being an artist and acting. The fame is now people thinking you're perfect. The fame is now people thinking Mbali doesn't make mistakes. Mbali can't do anything wrong because she's perfect. She's our national wife. So she can't be in the wrong for anything. But then I confidently made the mistakes in public just to show people that I am human and to show people that I'm God's project. He will make examples, he will make sure that anything and everything that happens, he will say, I will help you through it. I'll help you get out of it. And that's exactly what he did. And that's exactly what he's been doing. I see a lot of matriculants or grade 11s. Hello. All I can say to you is that I was lucky enough to find my passion very early, and that was like high school. You know, most people get confused in varsity, most people get confused even after varsity, all the years. But to align yourself, to find your passion, it's to sit with yourself most of the time. That's how I did it, you know, and this is my advice from my experiences. It's to sit with yourself and ask yourself questions. Honestly, for me, it's that. It's forgetting about how you were raised. It's forgetting about what looks nice, what looks beautiful. You might think it's beautiful to be in the entertainment industry, but don't rush for that. Like I'd say, find it. I'm not saying no to the entertainment industry, but I'm saying don't look at the pretty things that happen when it comes to picking your career. Find something that when you sit down with yourself and you ask yourself, why would I want to do this? How will it help? Then you get the right answers. And just to pray, you get a lot of answers from praying. So I think that would also help a lot. Yeah, I think I've shared my story, and I hope it inspires someone one day. Yeah, thank you.
say thank you again to Mbali for that. I think what I really loved about, her story is how, you get onto people's TV screens, and somehow once you do that, you become immortal, right? You don't make mistakes, you're the epitome of perfect, and you can't just be a real person. Hearing her story, how, being on this show and then it being canceled and how she's had to navigate life thereafter, it's such a humble conversation with us, because a lot of the time people want to talk about the highlights of their careers, right? But not talk about the low times, and how in her case, where she says she was humbled to have to go back home and be with her parents after leaving for the big city of Johannesburg for this massive character. And also just hearing from her how she's so passionate about the future. Through. I do believe we're going to see you more on our TV screens, and maybe even, outside of South Africa on the international platform, since you are so young and amazing. So what we're going to do now is we have our wonderful panel of 4 ladies, our keynote Mbali, Manto's here, Dr. Lou, Captain Londi's here. We're going to do a few questions, and then I've got a lovely performance. So I'm going to come into the audience and see if there's any questions that you have. Anyone want to ask any questions? Remember, we've got football with Mam Manto, right? We've got maritime and ocean, Captain Londi. We've got skin and medical, Dr. Lou, and of course the acting world and the entertainment world with the beautiful Mbali. So anyone want to ask a question, and I can come pop you a mic, because we're going to keep this nice and short, but I don't want you to miss an opportunity to ask a question. Ever in life you are. Anyone got a question? Oh, there we go. So what's going to happen is I'm going to leave a mic here with the ladies, and then you guys will just navigate who the question's to, and I'll make the floor. So this mic is on, and I'm going to walk into the crowd. Where are you? Yeah, there we are. You can just say your name, and I'm curious also now what you want to be when you grow up, and then your question.
Greetings. The name is Notanda Mgoma. I'm from Esizibeni High School, located in Hlenzeni, doing matric. I would like to dedicate a request, not a question either. I would like to ask Captain Londi for her to more motivating factor or the reason why we choose land rather than the ocean. It's because we do not have the power, or rather the teaching, to get us to do maritime or explore more about the oceans or the marine. We are more taught about how we have to work on land, be economists, do business and all that, but we are not taught how much opportunities the ocean has or how much opportunities the air has. So I would like to request you all to look more into sponsoring us with teachers if you have the power. I would really like you to look more and maritime, because we do have science teachers, math teachers, we do accounting, we do have teachers, but we are short with teachers who teach us more about the marine. So thank you.
Lovely comment. I don't know if you want to take that.
I definitely
Captain?
will. Thank you, Yabong. Did you see how she just got up? The name is From. So well done on that confidence. It's really quite intriguing. So usually the school principal or the I almost said body corporates, yeah, they will curriculum, right? So when they are presented with like, if they want to be technical school, say, no, we'll take speech and drama now. They will introduce that into the curriculum. Mine was introduced when I was already at grade 10, and I had just already decided to go and do TD with the others. But my principal said, no, there's this thing, and we don't have teachers for it. It was the teachers from my school that had to double on it to do this subject. So it took that dedication from teachers that didn't even have maritime. We cut newspapers, we went to the harbor, we took trips. It wasn't formalized. So much like when you want to go to work in the mines, there's no specific teacher for that, So I think that the interest comes from the school. I go to a lot of career expos, and often the school principals would come and say, I need this in my school. How can I have it? And then we guide from there. So the interest must come from the from the school that we wanted for our pupils. And interestingly now, UKZN has finally formalized it. So any teacher, any person with that degree can now merge into maritime and become maritime teachers. It's going to start in 2025 only, but they already are starting to align it. So it has to come from the school.
Thank you so much, Londi. Thank you, Captain. Also, just to add to that, I think that just shows you young people in this room how privileged you are to be in this space, because you've now been exposed to a career that wouldn't ordinarily have been exposed to you. And what do they say? Take the lift back down. So you've heard this, you've seen this, the internet is your oyster, and share with the young people in your school what you've heard today. Share with them the opportunities in this beautiful coastal town and city that we live in, that they themselves can explore. You know, one thing you guys have that I didn't have growing up is the internet. It is a powerful thing. When I remember when the internet first came, did you know that it used to dial? As in, when you go. Literally, then it would ring. And then you wait. And then there's a break in the internet, there's no internet. Then you dial up again. And you wait. And today, you have it. There's data for Facebook, and it. There's data for TikTok. Let there be data to expand on your career. And it. Thank you. Another question.
Thank you, Carol. My name is Nhlanhla Ndlovu. I'm from Umlazi. This is actually a request. It's not a question. I run an NPO called Saka Isizo Organization, which is a non-profit organization dealing with young people with skills and development and also upliftment. So I would love to request, like, all the panelists to there's something that I want to do. I'm also an ambassador for GBVF, since I'm also a victim. So program would. So I'm also an activist, ANC activist within the wood. So I would love for the panelists to be there. I don't know how do I do, or where do I go, or how will you guys like come and, you know, inspire young, because you are community builders beside being whatever you guys are, but you're also community builders. So that's actually my request from all of y'all. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm sure you can, at the end of the session, get in touch with the ladies, get emails. And there's a mic right in front of you.
I wanted to add, sorry, on her question, it's been coming to me a lot about the learning more about oceans economy. The podcast is gonna launch in October, Unlocking Oceans Economy with Captain Londi Ngcobo. So I hope that you can learn a bit more, and I'll have different kinds of companies, different kinds of guests sharing different kinds of insights. Just sharing.
Sissy, I would want to add to come in with your request. It's very important. I love what you do. NPOs love it. One of my CSI projects, which is my NPO, I help young kids that are struggling with skin problems, because I feel like if I had been taught earlier, I would have handled it better. So we can maybe, like I said, we don't compete, we collaborate. We can probably find ways that we can collaborate with my NPO, and then we get to help kids with skin and then empower them as well, because we also have a way for them after they've confidence. We don't want them to use their confidence to go for pregnancy and do other things. We want to direct and steer their confidence to empowering them as well. So we can definitely collaborate in that.
Just to add, Doug, I also have my own brand, which is called Organic Glow. Due to, you know, capital and everything, I had to stop. But I also have a brand, a skincare brand, which I manufacture myself. And thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you so much. Any more questions? I want to wrap. Let's get a fresh. Ooh, okay. Let's get a question.
Hi everyone. It's my voice. I would like to address this to Ulondi. We used to go to school together, by the way. I would like to find out, in terms of the maritime studies that are already in process with the school that we went to. How far does the school, or is there any collaboration with the Maritime Studies to channel the kids to UKZN and doing that and focusing on the Maritime Studies? Is there any collaboration? Because I know my sister's child is suffering on that case, because you take the subject as the first in under general. You've been doing general at grades 8. Now you are doing maritime at grade 9. There's no follow-up in the studies that you are doing post you going to UKZN, and totally different side of view. So my question is there any collaboration with the school, with the UKZN, with your foundation? I'm not sure of the name, so I want to find out, is there any continuation after matric?
Certainly. There's only 12 schools in KZN that do maritime studies. 12. And kid you not, that is solid progress, because they on us Isithengile in Claremont, and then JG Zuma introduced JG Zuma High School, something like that, in Umlazi. On the way, became the second, and then it's been, sorry, Umkomasho. So there's been 10 more since then. But the interesting thing is that the shipping companies want, they have CSI, but it will only make sense if schools do maritime. So it's not even through my foundation. It's Global Maritime Youth. It's not even through that. They directly go to the Department of Education and look for maritime schools so that they can be able to sponsor the students. So there's only 12, and I don't know how many schools we have. So yeah, there definitely is a continuation.
Right. I'm going to take the last question, if there is one, the last question.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Nomonde Chakala. I'm from Claremont. I have a question for you, Sis Londi. I am an entrepreneur. I am a travel agent and a tour operator. Also a tourist guide, already trained. But I'm interested in the one you talked about, tourist guides. Where can I get the training? Institute I go. Thank you.
Thanks. So you have marine, I mean, it's called marine tour guides. So you already are a tour guide, but you want to blend it with the maritime. So what happens with this, there's usually short courses that are offered by the eThekwini Maritime Cluster. So then they would come to a company like mine that is accredited to offer, and then they run that. The last they did was of 25 students. They did it in March. So I think maybe if you can find out from the Maritime Cluster when they will roll the next one. That's the formal training that I have seen for marine tour guides. Otherwise, prior to that, Moses Kotane Institute, the Maritime Department from Moses Kotane Institute, they used to offer for marine tour guides, and they've now discontinued doing training for maritime, and they only focus on research. So I would say go to a Maritime Cluster when the next intake is, and I'll see you there.
Fantastic. Okay, now we're going to have a performance. We're almost at the end of our program, so we can have lunch, we can go quad biking, we can ride the horses, we can do selfies, we can do pictures, we can look at the ocean. So we're almost there. But before we get there, these young ladies, I actually caught a flight with them about 2 weeks ago. They were heading into Johannesburg, and obviously they're now back in KZN, and I believe they are somewhere here. Wonderful performance. They were at, we saw them first on the Idol stage, and now they're on this stage in Umkababa. Ladies and 4 gentlemen, please put your hands together for the Kwabe Twins. I do believe they're here. They're coming through. I'm just gonna go check on where they are. I heard they are here, and I'll be back in 2 seconds. Okay, I can see them making their way down. So they are here and they will perform. So as we wait for them to make their way down, I think I'll take 1 or 2 more questions, but I will cut them short as soon as they walk in. I'm going to take from first timers, okay? So only one question who's never asked.
Hello, ladies. Hi, everyone. Mama from football department. They did not ask you any question. Can you please help me? Please find out for us what happened to Bafana Bafana.
I think this is a very important question for the nation, Mama. It's on your shoulders to give us a response. It is on your shoulders. As I get you, we will delay this program until this is answered. What happened?
I think it needs ladies to be in charge. Because when we take over, we truly take over. We don't just do lip service. And I think what has been happening up until now is lip service.
Yes.
So I'm saying get involved. It takes that leadership to say, we'll get this done. That's all it takes. Because if you look at our teams here too, when they compete in the continent, they almost beat everyone. They win continental titles. And how can they then not perform when they play against our national teams from the continent? Because it's the same continent where we excel when we there as individual clubs. So it's in the leadership.
Thank you so much, Mama. All right, whilst we wait for them to come and perform, another question. I'm thinking they might be performing on the outside, and if that is the case, we'll wrap up our program here. Can I ask, maybe Winnie, will you come and address us? Okay, great. Let's do that. So we'll wrap up the program here. There's a chance that they will be performing outside. That's what I'm assuming. Okay. Yeah. So you're gonna use this one? Okay, let me give you this one. Ladies and gentlemen, 4 gentlemen, please welcome Deputy Head, Devon Tourism, Sis Winnie.
Good afternoon, ladies and 4 gentlemen. I'll just get the cue from the MC because the MC, being a lady, is in charge. Mine is not a vote of thanks, but it's just a couple of closing remarks in light of this very beautiful day today. Before I start, I'd like to firstly acknowledge the protocol, starting with my deputy chair, my whip, and the councillors present, and also our esteemed speakers that are here today to bless us with such powerful information, because knowledge economy is very important. And we're very grateful that the high school allowed us, trusted us with their children to come today in this gathering. So initially we structured the program with a breakaway session but clearly with the flow of today, things changed. But we just like to encourage you, Guti, when we're having the lunch, because this session may have triggered many questions. We do take advantage of follow-up interaction with our speakers. A lot of opportunities have been presented here, so that we make sure that the seed that has been planted today, it actually grows, considering the very informative and powerful information and shared today. So on that note, through you, Madam MC, I'd like to then welcome on stage my whip to just give us the vote of thanks, and we will be coming to the conclusion of our program today. Ukansela Puleng Hlomuga, Imbogodo. We are very proud, colleagues, that we are led by women in our committee, very powerful women, and they are here today. They just made sure they've got many other commitments, but they said, no, we have to be there to host the ladies in tourism, and we are very on you.
Sanmonani, Program Director. Deputy Chair, councillors of the committee, Councillor Welegazi. I must say all protocol observed, so let's save time. You know, while I'm sitting, I'm wondering, why is eThekwini don't assist anyone here? Because I've been listening sitting there. But Deputy Chair, I mean, Deputy Head, usiswinile aba-invitanga nje abantu esike sibasize umkhandlu, because no one engike ngamuzwa ethi nje no siyawubonga umkhandlu waseThekwini. Ha? Ngiyanicela nishaye izandla nishayele umkhandlu waseThekwini. If singazisho izinto ezinhle ngeTheku lethu, ubani ozosho? No one else. How can we invite, how can we attract our visitors to come here if we are not saying positive things about our eThekwini? Siyabonga sisi we-poetry, ngibonga nje yabo khona nje okwenzile. Mine nje kuncane kakhulu. Siswinile, we appreciate your program, your efforts and take eThekwini to the par. So after this program, we were sitting here with the deputy chair and we were talking about why don't we take this program to be like a bigger number of the young women's, you know, young women of our days, because this is our theme of our CA program. If you teaches a girl child, you teaching a nation. Tourism do have a because Manto, we are very proud of you, Mami. I'm from Guamakuta. I'm the ward councillor. This is my second term. That means it's my second 5 years to be as a councillor. I'm in leadership. I'm not in acting. Yes, in pet. 40 stars of part. This is my deputy chair. She's leading me even in the region. That means they are a corner mathuba. It's just that athi siphuma kusona besingasivumeli ukuthi sisazi besingasivumeli sibe nesibini. Mina nje ngiyacela abantu besifazane thandanani. Asithandaneni, sibambane, sisekelane. Where I'm weak, ufanele uqhamuke wena ungifukule. La weak khona nami ngiqhamuke ngikufukule. Angingabi ihlazo lami kube ihlazo lokuthi kuzophuma wena as umuntu wesifazane uhamba uyohlekisa ngalo. Okwethu nje ukuthi asifukulaneni sithandane. Siyayibonga kakhulu sincomane. Sincomane nje manje ngincoma nje singaze ngamuhle. Ngiyaqhejini laseThekwini. Ngiyanicela mina ke nje okwami ukuthi ngigade ukuthi kuthiwani ngeTheku ama officials enze njani ngeTheku, umphakathi awuphethe kanjani, umphakathi uliphethe kanjani iTheku. Nihambe niyosho ukuthi cha eThekwini likhona usizo. Ama CCOs akhona eThekwini about 12 or 10 awu 9 ayanimaketha abatakwethu. We are one of them. Ngicela imshayile izandla.
because lezi zinto mungazi usondele kuzona. So njengamanje sesithola ithuba lokusondela uthi hawu khona okanje khona okanje we are so proud of you ladies. Dokotela doctor nami ngisamncane ngangifisa ukuba udokotela. Yeah. Usisi lapha captain ngiyabuza ukuthi mina okay ucaptain wenzani hayi kwasho hayi ngathi ushelani kuthi umkhumbi ngathi hayibo. So ke siyafisa ke siswinile siyabonga kakhulu sicela nisibizele abanye ocaptain because uthe akafisa ukuba okukuphela kwakhe uthe ufuna ukubona abanye azobafukula. Iyona ke ama women a 1956 aye kade eyizabalazela. Bese ngiyacela ukuthi ke uma ngabe nje futhi sekuvuliwe ukuregister ukuvota but hambani go and new register. I'm not saying nivoteleni nivotele a progressive party. Angifuni ukusho ukuthi yipi ngoba kuzothiwa ngikhulume ngezepolitiki la. Hambani niyo register ukuvota. Ni practice ilungelo lenu next year. Kakhulu sibongile umcimbi muhle sisazojuxuza ke laphana size sigobe size sishone phansi. Umkhandlo waseThekwini ukhona uma ungabe uza nama proposal akho siyakwazi ukuthi sikusupport. Siyahlala lapha ama-string ngicabanga ukuthi ngenibone suke sihlele zona into enje ukuthi siwabone ama programs enje eza kubantu. That is why kuthiwa we are local government. So uhulumeni onjani okubantu njengamanje sikuhulumeni ukuphi osemgababa. Ngiyabonga lo mas. Thank you so much program director.
Thank you so much. Whoops, there we go. Drop the mic. That's what we call it in our radio world. What a wonderful afternoon, actually morning that's become an afternoon. I thank you all ladies for opening your hearts, opening your minds. I hope you've taken so much with you from this experience. Our amazing 4 speakers today. Thank you for your versatility. Thank you for your stripes in your industry, for being the beacon that young people can look up to and say, you've done it, I'm coming right behind you. Opening the doors by opening your mouth today. For many people listening right now, they are watching and saying, wow, I can do it. She looks like me, I can do it. So thank you ladies for coming and sharing your stories, sharing your paths. I'm sure you're going to get a lot of people coming to you, take pictures and learn more. And as we wrap, I will say, Mamantua, thank you so much for your story on football, how you've inspired young people, opened the door for many young people, and also just leaving your mark in history. Captain Londi, for navigating the waters, showing us that you won't be the first or the last, but you will be opening the doors for more to come behind you, those waters across countries. Dr. Lou, how you found your passion from a painful situation. Thank you for showing us that pain can bring about progress. It's not the only P in the world, pain. There's progress from. Thank you for that. Vulnerability on being on a public platform and showing yourself and telling us the story of it. Thank you for showing us that even when the door closes, you are kicking another one tomorrow. Ladies and gentlemen, I cannot thank you enough. Durban Tourism, Sis Winila, thank you for giving this opportunity. Thank you to all of you, the people of KZN, people of Durban, the people of Umgababa. From me, Carol Ofori, I thank you. I'll see you on the radio. I believe we're going to go straight out because the Kwabetilians are actually on the stage outside. Have yourselves a fabulous one and happy Women's Day, Women's Month and everything.
Okay, ngithi wena uya awuzwa mangikhuza awulaleli.
Uyabona